we were doing Kinusaiga stuff, and Josh was measuring out that, and we're trying to figure the one out for Christina. And did you see the live or no? Should be there. So I apologize. I had to reset the live because it kept telling me error, error, error. Oh goodness, technology. A couple of things before we get started. It should be in there somewhere. I'll come in there, Josh. Never mind. May have to give me a minute. Part three? Part three, yes. And it should be the same on the computer. We're doing Kinusaiga stuff and second. I gotta. Did you find it? Yes or no? Okay. Got this running. Got that running. I finally was smart and thought I should put my headphones in my computer and then I can actually run it instead of putting it on silent. That would be a smart cookie thing to do, that's for sure. So, a couple of things. And everything. I found these at Walmart. Let me bring you down. Let's get this whole thing set up at least this way, like we normally do, so you're not having to see double of me. There we go. So I found. I found these, which is the. Excuse me. The sawtooth. Picture things, and even though these don't have necessarily screws to put them in, we can go ahead and they're tiny, tiny screws, but we can go ahead and put them in and then put some glue in. So to put on the back of the pictures, these are at Walmart for like $2 or something like that. So I picked them up while I was there. That's the first thing. What's in my juice today? I have a mixture of carrot. This is a mixture of spinach, tomato, broccoli, celery, I think, and carrot in there. It may not be spinach, it's just maybe broccoli, tomato, carrot, and celery. And then I've got pineapple, some more carrot, and kale and apple, and also pear and apple. So that's in my cup to make my juice today. Another thing, we started this one. I don't know if I'm going to finish it totally on Facebook, but we did start this one. This is a fishy. I love how that aqua fabric that I got. Look at that, just sparkles. I love the purple. This was from that lady who gave us all that sweet fabric. So this is another pattern that we're doing and going to be available soon. I started it on Facebook because I want to grow the audience over there as well. I may finish this on Facebook. I don't know yet, but anyway, that's what we're doing over there. And I had some encouraging thing. I was in the Walmart and there was a gentleman there and we started talking for a few minutes and he does paintings. And I showed him this and he said, "Are you selling them yet?" I'm like, "Well, I'm working towards that goal." So anyway, we're still learning our cuts, that's for sure. But sorry guys. Give me a minute. I froze. I have to join again. We are looking into just getting a simple little iPad mini, probably a 4th generation one. Because this phone is it's old. But if iPad mini would solve the issue and do what we need to do, so let me bring it back down here. Anyway, the fish will be certainly available soon. I love the fishy. I think it came out really cute. With that being said, so this is one I don't know again if I'm gonna finish the entire thing on Facebook, and we're still debating on what we're gonna do when it comes to a cutter the wood so that we can frame the flag one. Thing I found in my stash of stuff is I had at one point gotten what was it? I can't even think what it was now. Um, Hi, Tomato. Welcome on in. I had gotten a embroidery sewing machine, and I was gonna embroider stuff and all that kind of stuff. It never happened. But this is a whole case of embroidery yarn, or thread, I should say. And I really kind of started thinking that the outlines really do make everything and identify everything and bring everything in. And I thought about this and I found it finally in my stuff. And I thought there's so many colors, there's so many choices. And they do have crochet thread in a package, but of course it's smaller. They do have one from Hobby Lobby, and I forgot to look while I was there, and it's like an 8. It's a size 8 for there. So um, that is smaller than what we have been using, which is the crochet thread we have is a 10 in size. So anyway, I know this is thin, but this is also, if you look at it, very shiny. If you can see it, it has a sheen to it um that what is it? I can't think what it is now. That DMC thread, and I even looked at DMC thread because it's been a while. I don't know why that's being all choppy tonight. Uh, It's just not working. It's I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. What? I know why. Give me a minute. Josh is working at it because I'm like I don't understand why it's so choppy. But anyway, the crochet thread. Everybody's on Calvin playing on our Wi-Fi. Everybody's on the same one, so I'm switching. Okay. Anyway, this is well. If we have to, let's turn the TV off. Josh, if we have to, turn the TV off. A minute. I never had that problem before, but anyway, you can see that this has no, everything's choppy, baby. Yeah, if you have to, just turn the TV off because it's really choppy there. Anyway, yeah, it's choppy, so just turn the TV off right now. Anyway, this is I'm sorry, guys. We are just having some technical difficulties tonight. Um, I apologize for it. We're losing this one. We're losing everything tonight. So I do apologize for the choppiness and the delay and everything. Um, maybe that maybe that helped to kind of reset everything. Like I said, we're looking into possibly getting like an iPad Mini 4. Anyway, this is embroidery thread. There's a sheen to this that does not have that this has that regular embroidery thread does not have, or DMC thread doesn't have. And I'm really kind of thinking that this may be what we're going to start using. I've got a bunch of it. Hi, Sandy. I've got a bunch of it, and I may start using this to outline. Here's the one thing about it: if you're going to outline any of this, you can outline and emphasize some things, but if you're going to kind of start outlining some things, you're going to kind of start outlining everything. Um, but for instance, I really think it just adds a little something to it without being like the center of attention, because the center of attention needs to be the the picture, the fabric. That's the center of attention. When we're doing this one, which we started on Facebook and we will finish on Facebook, I want to just explain. Um, when you are doing, okay, a section like this section here, okay? We want, I'm really sorry, guys. We keep losing y'all. I don't know why, and I apologize for that. We're just having some really difficult technical issues tonight. I know myself on it. Right. When you are doing a picture like this and you're going to outline, okay, you really want to make sure that if you're going to be doing like a section up here, and this is very thin, and I really kind of like the look of it, we've been using this. This because I had it on hand, and for the cross it worked. We wanted it to look more like a stained glass look. Um, so it worked. This is terrible. Don't know what's happening, y'all. I really don't. Why we're getting into the chopping weeds, I don't understand. But you can see where if we did this all in this thickness, it really is noticeable. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But when we're doing something like this here with the water, we have to do the water the way it is and the cuts the way it is because um you I may not be able to have myself on tonight, guys. I'm losing myself all the time. And it just could be the phone. We're using an old phone to look at me, and it just may be okay, I'm not gonna be special things on it tonight. Anyway, back to what hopefully I was saying. It looks choppy over there. I don't think it's choppy over here. Um, when you are doing this section like here, where you want, even though we've had to do the cuts in it in order to be able to put the fabric in its place successfully. Okay, however, we don't want it to look like there's a bunch of cuts. We want it to look like one piece of water, right? So when you're doing that and you're going to outline, if you pick something like that will match with it, it'll be a nice little outline. It'll kind of fill in that little cuts thing. It'll hide maybe some of your little areas if you need them to be hid. But it's not going to stand out. For instance, if you took this blue, okay, which is a dark blue, and you put that in that section, what happens now is it makes it very dark. And your eye is immediately drawn to the cut that needed to be made in order to put the fabric in instead of the fabric. So by this, I don't want to take that and put anything that's going to be noticeable. If I want to outline, maybe I will put that there, and that'll just add a nice sheen. It'll just outline it a little bit without it being something that's totally, something that's there. And that is just a little bit, it just adds something to have it. It outlines everything without it being, too much. Whereas if you took this, and like I said, you probably would use a thinner crochet thread, this really stands out. You see it, and that's all you kind of see. Now, we may, and I don't know if we'll do that for fish yet or not, but we may take the gold in this crochet thread and choose to outline the fish, or at least this part of the fish, where it's kind of its gills of the fish. We may choose to take that and just go ahead and outline that part because we want to really showcase the fish a little bit. So we may choose to do that and then do the other thread around. But whatever you choose if you're choosing to outline, and you don't have to outline, you can keep it exactly how it is. You just want to be very careful that you're going to be choosing something that right, that will make it so that the water looks like one piece, not that it looks broken up. And that's kind of what you want to pay attention to. So we're probably going to start using this to finish things and outline things a little bit. But there will be certain areas where we're going to try to match the color so you won't see it too much. It'll just be enough without it looking like it's purposely outlined. So you want to just pay attention to those things. If you're choosing to outline things, you just have to realize that if you do something, if I chose a darker blue, even though it would be pretty, nothing wrong with it, you can do that. If I want it to look like one body of water and not chopped up, you just have to keep that in mind when you're outlining a little bit. Just something to consider. I literally have this whole thing. I'm not going to use it on the sewing machine. I might as well use it up. And I probably will get some crochet thread, maybe an 8, just so I can see what that looks like. But I still think that maybe on the thick side, if you want to kind of make the outline something that you do, but not something that, hey, by the way, I'm here. So anyway, I can't get this on tonight. Tomorrow, I don't think I will be on. If I am on, it's going to be later on. I just cannot get this one on. Doesn't want to get on. This container is just, I've never liked the whole container. And I'll see if I can find this. This was on Amazon. I will see if I can find it. The only thing I have to warn you about is that they did not make this container well. And I have to be very careful when I pick it up because I pick more than once, just like I did now, and everything falls. And it's just not, the container is not put together well. That's my one complaint about it. So if you order it, it's great. Find another container because it does not hold together well. It falls apart every, and so you have to. It's just not. It's not fun to. I keep snapping it back together, and it's not the greatest container in the world for everything. And I wouldn't outline anything to the very end. Anyway. There's no need to do that till the very end. So this is one we're working on Facebook. We may finish it on here, but we may not. It just all depends. We'll see. I'm trying to get us knowing a little bit more of our Facebook so we can kind of grow over here too as well, so we can have people realize what we're doing over here, bring people over here too. Finishing my tea, which I didn't have a chance before I came on. Okay. And my daughter's coming tomorrow. She wants to try this art form. She's excited to try this. So I had to order her stuff because she can't have my supplies. I'm giving her some supplies. She can't have mine. Whoops. I've given her some of my blessed supplies that I got. But I had to order a pair of scissors because these scissors are awesome, but she can't take my scissors home with her because I may never get them back. She's excited to try it. My response to her was, "Well, just I'm telling you, once you start, you may not be able to put your seam ripper down. You have to, but it's hard." And I met a guy in the store. I was talking to him, and he said, "I guess said to everybody, he said, you sell them yet?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, you better because you're really." He said, "This is what your only second one." I said, "Yeah, just started this." He was really surprised. Made me feel good. 'Cause I was like, "We're doing something right, guys." This is just the start. He said, once you do this, you gotta get some classes together and she'll go out to it. Yep, that's down the pike. Josh is learning. I'm learning. Got a little bit for our scraps of the ones we think we're gonna use. Where is our patterns? Make notes on this one. That's the 5 one. That one I've got to get, guys. I'm trying to get. I got the. It was a couple weeks prior. I got the. It was. What was it now? The shout outs for Blessings to Connected out. I was having problems downloading it, Finally, I got it to download. It would not download until yesterday. So, anyway, we were out running today around a little bit. Oh, by the way, hold on a second. Like I said before, if you feel like you got a little bit of stuff glue on it, just take your water and do what y'all see. I got new specs. I put them on and I was, oh my gosh, these things are so much lighter than the previous ones. I can actually see a little bit better because they're not as long, so they're not as heavy. And he said what he thinks was happening too is he said the glasses were going this way. They were falling, and then I was, they were falling down, and then I wasn't able to get a good kind of, wasn't able to get good vision on them. So they were just too heavy for my face. The lenses were heavy, and it didn't feel like it. So I had to. The Americans Best actually replaced them because they said there was a defect in them. Of course, after about the fifth time of my lens falling out, they were done. I was done. So anyway, I'm just cleaning up a couple of the edges that I saw the other day that I need to, and sometimes you need to do that. Just go back and you may have to clean up. And I thought that this glue that I've been using is called Fast Dry. It's not. It's called Fast Grab. It grabs on the stuff, but I like it back. No, this is Quick Dry. Oh. This is Quick Dry, but then I got Quick Dry. So I have to give this one to Christina. I must have picked up and returned the other one because that one's not what I thought. I did something. I'll have to look at that one and change it out. Go back to them and replace it because I thought I grabbed the wrong thing for my. But just clean up your stuff. Sometimes you need to go in and just do a little bit of cleanup. Glad I looked at that. I'll have to take the other one back. It says Quick Grab, and I meant to get Quick Dry. I thought that when I saw it, and I'm like, wait a minute. I looked at regular, but I like the Quick Dry because it does help to dry it real quick. You're not sitting there waiting for it to dry. You're putting it on the fabric, and then it's drying quickly, and you're not waiting for it to. So I do really like having the Quick Dry. Just be aware that if you keep it out, I wouldn't put out a lot at once because it's gonna quick dry on whatever you're gonna put it on. So I put a little bit on, and then I put the lid on, and then I add a little bit to my little container as I need it. So I would not put a bunch on. Okay. And it'll dry it. And we're probably going to be outlining this, so I'm not terribly worried. But there was just a little little fray edge we got to take care of. Take care of it before it starts really fraying. Okay, that's going to be working. Oh, Mocha, don't start. You're gonna start, aren't you? Okay. You can bark out there, but people are allowed to walk around. You don't have to act like that. Get over here. Who's out there in your backyard? She's probably barking at. There's nobody out there. Lord have mercy, child. She's barking at herself. Reflection in the mirror. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. Now, let's work on, I think that's another issue. Let's correct that while we're at it. Hi, Shatikwa. Welcome on in. We're just working on our goose. But I probably won't be on tomorrow. I'm going to try to get some things done. I'm going to try to get flag pattern worked on and get the things caught up. Oh, think you a dog would know my voice by now. If I call my mother, or if I'm in the bedroom and I, just say, Mom, she will start barking her head off. It's like, do you think you know my voice by now? So let's start working on this section here. I get a Mocha Hero. Let's work on this section next as we're going up. Okay. And we said we were going to use this. Now, when we do this section in, we outline this section, I would outline this section in like the white, because then it will kind of show, or gray, where it will show like caulking that's between the little brick pavers that are there. So I will show you that in a little bit when we get further along. But in that case, I would absolutely do it in oh, excuse me. Excuse me. We're silly. We were so silly. Yeah, she is. We're extremely silly. 100% guarantee that. So we're going to do the brick. So hopefully everybody is doing well tonight. Yes, she does. She's trying to climb up on my lap on this chair earlier. It's like, Mocha, there is not enough room on this chair for you and I. There's just not. There's no room on this chair, and she kind of fun with me. Staffies are wonderful. You want 100% teaching? Yeah. Yep. Oh boy. She's a riot. She's too funny. Too funny. We love her, but she's too much. She can be. Yes. Staffies are. I remember when we fostered Hunter, and I swore I'd never have another Staffy. I said I'm never having another Staffy again. Look, we got her. They're a very unique dog, and I don't think once something happens to Mocha, I think I would ever get another Staffy again. I get another dog, probably another Staffy, not another Staffy. I'd love to have another lab. Ugh. I don't think I could ever do another black lab because of Jordan, but I would love to have a lab. This stage in our life, I it's like she knows what you're talking about, right? Okay, just making sure. We got to bring this up a little bit. That's just not enough. I cut it too short and it's on an angle, and I forgot it's not straight. He was cutting boards. We were talking about it. Gotta, yeah. I still got more boards to cut for different projects. And I've got to do one Christina wants me to do. So I've got to cut that pattern out when I get down here. So it's ready for tomorrow. And we cleaned out the den, so everything's in the living room. So I'll have to do that. So I won't be on for hours upon hours tonight, but I wanted to get some of this done. So we can move along with the goose. I'm just tired. Went and picked up my glasses, which I'm really put them on them. These feel so much later. I think I still need to have them adjusted on the back, but it's like I'm done with my lenses falling out every 5 seconds. And I want. And Christina has, I think, I can't remember how many. She makes these little handmade pillows, but she said she would give me one to show if anybody would be interested. But she's enjoyed working with fabric, and I'm like, I think you are going to enjoy doing this actually. So I'm just really tired. I think I could have gone and laid down for a nap.
Really?
I'll keep my mouth shut.
Who?
Me.
About what? Me calling her LMFO?
Yeah, I was gonna say it takes one to know one.
I already know I'm not. You give me advice.
Oh gosh. I love my husband. He puts up with all my kooky ideas.
See?
I said you do.
I thought you were asking who does.
Nope. I said you do, and I'm thankful for him.
Come.
Now that he's cleaned up the chair, she doesn't want on the chair.
Okay. Come.
You probably have to move the chairs.
I'm the night already? Well, come.
You probably have to move that wheelchair. She probably wheel thing. She probably won't get around it.
Pardon, we're friends, but I think you're wrong.
Well, maybe. Sometimes she's fickle about stuff. She won't open doors. She'll just stand there whining. She won't go through a door.
Wheelchairs.
I'm going to show y'all what I mean by um, having the make it look like caulking in the middle. But I had to order Christina a pair of scissors. I'm like, you can't have mine. And I need to order new pairs of scissors here because these ones, just my other ones broke that were better than us. So trying not to get out of frame so you guys can see me. I start, just put frame in the thing. I'll know I need to get back into the frame part here. You know what? I'm going to move this way a little bit because it feels like it's so far away from me today. I think it got moved. And that will help. There we go. It won't feel like it's so far away. Mm. So now I have to teach Christina. And the other tablecloth should be here on Wednesday, which will be easier than this one because this one's for an oval table on a round thing. It just doesn't work. It works, but it's not. It's a little bit long in the front and the back, on the side, where I have it. So it'll be much easier when I get the other one to have the gray instead of the blue. But we did what we needed to do for right now, and it worked. You do what you have to do. I've been watching the Brady Bunch. Like, times were so simpler. It was funny. They were talking about something. It was Jan was trying to order a bracelet. And she said, see, it's a free bracelet. And Alice said, but you see the fine print, you got to spend like $1.50 for shipping. I was like, $1.50 for shipping? Do we know what shipping is now? Lord have mercy. It's a lot more than $1.50. Sometimes taking this tool and just one of these, depending on the size, when you can't get something to cooperate, it does smooth it down a little bit. You just got to be careful because you can make the gaps really big with it. But if your seam ripper's just not doing it, it is nice to have that. It kind of gives it just a little bit more force to go into where you want it to go. Josh, don't start yawning. I may go with you. I find the white one, the white color, if you're ordering the ones that are on the fabric list, that's the one that I find is so easy to kind of get into. It's the smallest one of the pack, and it seems to work. And sometimes just taking a little glue, if you can't get it to cooperate the way you want, it does help to kind of weigh it down and get it to kind of go with it so that you're not having an issue. Just make sure you're going in the direction you want to go in. Okay, sometimes you just have to finagle them for a while. And no, we're not trying to do perfect. We're trying to do pretty. We're not trying to do perfect. Perfect does not exist. I know that everybody would like to have everything perfect and it to be perfect and everything. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be pretty, not perfect. You're going to find mistakes. Okay. When we get done with this, I'll show you what I mean for sorry. I'm tired. Mondays are hard for me anyway, because I went live last night on Facebook because I thought I'm going to get our audience over there to come and see what we're doing over here. We have like 1,100 followers over there, so we got a good chunk. Of course, I think just a few people popped in, but that's okay. I mean, just there wasn't much, but it's just going to take us time to build over there. But I will be doing some lives over there. They only last for 30 days. But there are some patterns that I'll be doing over there. Everything will be always offered in our merch store. My juice started to be shaken up. Break up. Best way to juice, just start putting in ice cubes and you can start. It's the easiest way to do it. And you can just make it as you go. Add things, make your juice. I still have that beet juice. I gotta do that, but I gotta add it slowly. And I was just not ready to add that tonight. No, I'm not gonna try that. I'm gonna try that on a day when I'm not necessarily going live. Because the last time I did beet juice, I did too much of it and it did not sit well. So I'm gonna do beet juice. It's fine. It's just you gotta do it in small amounts till your body kind of gets used to it. I just keep forgetting to add it to it and have a little bit and I need to take breaks, so I'm not doing it every day. People say, "Oh, you should have beet juice first thing in the morning." On an empty stomach. I'm like, nope, not this girl. I could never do it on an empty stomach. I proved that when I first tried it. Nope, 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 nope. Yes, I agree. Goose is coming along. And I did find some. I looked at some eyes at Hobby Lobby, and all they have at Hobby Lobby is like the wiggle eyes, you know, the ones that are the wiggly eye things. And I just don't like them. I don't like them because they remind me of a kid's project. I'm not crazy about them. I like the I really like the glass eyes. I think they look so nice. And so they're on Amazon. And so I'm going to order those. Um I just have to I found ones, but they were 6 millimeters, I think. And Josh thinks they're a little bit too big. So I've got to find ones that are smaller. But I don't like the googly eyes. They just remind me of like a kid's project. And it's like, this isn't a kid's project. This is really nice. And I think it would just cheapen it a little bit in my way of thinking. If you wanted to use it, that's fine. We could use those little dots and so forth that we were going to use, cut those things down. But I really like the glass eyes. I just think it's going to give so much more personality and to the fish as well. Yeah, I can ask her, but I've looked at Amazon and that's really the best place. I just haven't done a ton of research yet for it. Um, I just saw I showed them to Josh and he's like, yeah, I can see why you're saying that these eyes would be better because the glass eyes they're going to look so much better than the googly eyes. And you can't use safety eyes either because safety eyes are going to have they safety eyes, and I've got some in there. They do not have a flat back to them. So you've got to have eyes that have a flat back to them so that you can go ahead and put um that you can be able to lay them flat. So the safety eyes aren't going to work because of um those are just not going to work. So you have to have the flat back ones. And I saw them. Josh just said, I think we need to see if there's smaller ones than that. But when he saw them, he's like, he said, now those will look really cool. He said, and they'll look classic for what you're doing. And I'm like, yeah. You can get like 200 of them for like $7. But he thinks I need to find smaller ones. But it would be nice if I can find like a variety pack of different sizes. The googly eyes I hate to say that they look cheap and they don't look like, and it's not that they're fine, but yeah, elegant. That's it. That's exactly it, Cindy. They just don't look like, they just look, like I said, they look like a kid's craft. I saw some at Walmart. I was going to grab them and I don't know, there's something about taking this and shaking it and moving. I'm just like, no. They just didn't look elegant. I thought, no, we're not doing this. So Amazon has them. I just have to do a little bit more research. Because we will be doing ones where we're probably going to need those. So I'd like to try to find a variety pack because the fish, The fish is going to need a bigger size eye than the goose is. So if I found a variety pack that I could have couple different options, it would be nice. It would be really nice. So I haven't had a chance to really look at it much. I did kind of go into Hobby Lobby. They don't really have much except for googly eyes, which surprised me. Amazon is the way to go. I just have to find. I don't know why I'm putting that away. Oh, I'm tired today. I always am, usually on Mondays. I thought I had to go pick up new specs today. They're just so much lighter than my other ones. I thought this next time I go and I get my glasses next year, this is going to be the frame I'm going to get. The frame that just fits my face better. Josh is like, they look a little small on you. And I said, they're just like my other ones. They're a little purple. They had purple ones there. I was really thinking about getting, but these have a little like a purple, like won't be able to see anything. They have like, they're kind of like a mauvey kind of purple. Like you can see them. Then the sides have purple tone. So they're just so much lighter. Ugh. Put them on and I'm like, man, those are like lighter. Goes, yep. So I was really surprised that they would replace the entire glasses, but he said, I think that there's a defect in these. He said, I think they made the one lens too small. Because it's like I was going back like about the fifth time. He's like, okay, I think we need to change your glasses. We can do the same frame and redo them again. He said, but you may be over this frame. And I'm like, yep, I'm there in numerous ways. We'll just pick out another frame that won't cost you anything. I'm like, okay, it works. So, but they're very light and I like them. But I'll always remember, and we have pictures recently with those glasses on them. So always be kind of a part of it. This was very similar to my previous frame. And then when I was having so many problems, I kept my other frame. I kind of mended them together with that glue we used from the crochet because something was happening with that. But I'm glad I kept them because then I could see everything. And when I put them on last, I said, oh, I wish I had gotten a frame that was similar to this. So when I went there, I started looking for that Pacific frame and not looking for, hi, Fire, welcome on in. Looking for the one that I picked out because it was just they were too wide and too heavy. Okay. Just trying to get this piece to kind of go where I want it to. And so take your that other tool and get in, because it really does help to kind of get in there when you're kind of struggling a little bit. Sometimes you need to give it a facelift. There we go. Now, this is what I wanted to show everybody. When we're talking about our this embroidery thread, I'm going to try not to drop all over the floor for the third time. Like I said with the fish, and this is just embroidery thread. If you wanted to use the crochet thread, is like a 10, so it's thicker, and of course it works because that's what we kind of wanted to give our previous picture, was a stained glass look. But I found a bunch of this embroidery thread, and embroidery thread, which is used on your sewing machine to embroider things, has a little bit of a sheen to it in a way that DMC thread doesn't. And I thought, I'm going to use this stuff up. But there are certain aspects of this that I don't want to call much attention to. I just want to kind of have it blended in like we did for the fish. I want to have the body of water look like one big body of water, right? Okay. But for this section in here, I want this to kind of look a little bit like, almost like a little bit of grout that's going across there, right? I want it to kind of have that feeling a little bit. You can see it from there. Or I'm not going to match the color. I'm going to actually do it so that it looks like one piece of grout. Like there's a little thin line of grout running through here. So this is where I wouldn't necessarily choose the color that matches that. I want it to look like, when I outline it, like it's a piece of grout going across there. You know what I mean? Okay. And then you have it coming down from here too. So this way, this would not be something that I'm going to choose the exact same color to match this. I purposely actually want to choose a color like the white or a gray color, so it kind of looks like a little bit of grout going down, and it really separates it in a way that if I chose the matching color to that, which this is similar to it, it's not exactly, but let's just say I did this color, right? It's going to blend right in, and it's just going to, there's no use. For that, I would want to actually make sure that the color was different enough to really emphasize, or I may use a light gray or something like that, in a way that for the water, I may want to use something that's kind of like this, where it's just going to blend in and not pop up. It's going to be outlined. You're going to see it a little bit, but it's not going to be something that is, totally noticeable. But for that, I would like to have it to be noticeable. Um, there may be even a light gray that we may choose to use. Um, this is just embroidery thread I've had around for a long time. I'm going to use it up. I looked at the DMC thread because it's been a while since I've used DMC thread. And the DMC thread is great, but it does not have the shine the embroidery thread has. Embroidery thread is going to be thin, but if we start with what we used for the cross, we wanted it to purposely look like stained glass. Look at the thickness. Look at the difference. So even though that pops, that really, really kind of stands out. And then what's happening is you're not really seeing the fabric. You're seeing the outline. And I want the fabric and the picture to shine versus having the outline happen. I want the outline to be there, but I want it to be very, very minimal. So just something to think about in everything. Um, gray, B. I think I found, what was it? What color was it? One day I gotta find another container because this container is going to slowly irritate the heck out of me. That's black. This is kind of like a light gray. I could even think, well, maybe that'll look better than the white for the to kind of give it the ground look. I think I'll still go with the white, but what color was it? I know I pulled it out yesterday. Now I can't find it, right? Was it this color? I think I like that for that. I know there was another color I saw yesterday. Oh, I need to see right now. We gotta find another container for this. Throw this in the garbage. Um, this is called Peacock, and I really liked this for the hat. You know, even using better than the silver because it really is gonna blend very nicely for the hat. You see how that it doesn't draw attention to it. It just outlines it very, very nicely. And without it being all over. You have to glue it down. But we will figure that out. But I found out all this embroidery thread I'm not going to use for anything else. I'm not planning to haul out my sewing machine, guys, and start sewing anything with it. So I just will use it up. Is she with you, Josh? Josh? Yes, is she with you?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because somebody wants to take her for a WALK.
Oh.
She has play dates with her neighbors.
You felt it and you knew what was going on.
We are so thankful. This lady is amazing. Sleepy tonight. Excuse me. I'm tired. I have to get off here earlier then. I've got the living room to take care of. But I wanted to come on, and then we had all those technical difficulties happening. You can't even say the word, our neighbor's name, because she'll know. She's like, oh, she'll know that name. And if we say Christina, she'll know that one. But if I say, Mama's coming, forget it. She knows. She'll look all around for her. Where's Mama? She knows. She knows I won't. In the morning, if she wants me to pet her, she better sit down because I won't pet her. I'll just go, okay. You can just keep doing that till you're ready to sit. When you're ready to sit, then I'll pet you. So she'll sit her tail end down. It's the only way she gets petted in the morning. She does not get it any other way. But to our neighbor, she'll like jump up. It's funny. But we've kind of allowed that, and our neighbor doesn't mind. So we're like, okay. But we don't normally let her jump up, but she's just so excited to see her. I've got another pattern I'm working on. It's going to be kind of something very special for me. So Goofy. Oh, guys, I'm really sorry. I'm really tired. I didn't realize how tired I was till I sat here and go, oh, this is like so relaxing that I'm relaxing enough to kind of think, oh, but if I go to sleep now, I will not go to sleep later. Also, can't be on here for too long tonight because I do have to get a couple things done. I think I'm going to go to bed early because I'm just really sleepy. Of course, then I get in bed, think you're sleepy, and then you get in bed and say, oh, don't want to go to sleep, right? It always happens. You get in bed and you go, I was really tired. And then you get in bed and nothing happens. I was really hoping in my lifetime, my mother just gets, all she needs is readers from the Dollar Tree. I wasn't so lucky. Nothing wrong with glasses. Just wish I didn't have to wear them. But it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. So, Sandy, if you're wondering where I've got, I should have gone over there and got the SKU number for this. And I didn't. I'm sorry, guys. Should have gone over to the thing. I can save that for the end. Do that real well. No, let me do this in order, Mary. Because I can tell you exactly which one this is. I have some craft flowers over there. I did see some really cute flowers I was thinking of grabbing at Walmart, I think, today, and I chose not to. But for the hat. But I have some other craft flowers that'll work for right now. Still be cutie patootie. I don't think I'm gonna get out last week's channel shout out. I'm gonna try. I almost finished it. I'm gonna try to go work on it after I get out of here. After I get off here, go do what I need to do. Get Christina's thing cut, and then before I go to bed, maybe I can get that done and up. One thing I need to go find at the when I go again to that fabric store, see if they had everything, but I need to find fabric that has a brick print on it. Yes, I'm going to be doing a piece. Took a picture of our church. And I'm actually going to be doing a piece and then donating it to the church as a replica of our church. I thought was really cool. So just forgot I cut this piece off. I cut that piece off. Oh boy. So do you think it passes so that we don't have to deal with daylight savings time again? I wonder. Yep, I think I'm getting a little faster. And yet, I don't think that the idea for this is to rush either. I think it's take your time, have it work together, because you don't want to be, I don't think the idea of this is to rush either. You're better off to kind of take your time. I think today's world, we're rushing here and rushing there and rushing to do this and rushing to do that. And I think that sometimes we need to pull back and take it to easy, as my grandfather used to say. Sometimes we're so busy rushing to do this and, getting the kids off to this event and that event. And I just don't forget to take a moment and breathe in life anymore. It's too. It's we live in a it's just a world that's just on the go all the time, and that's why I was talking about it on Facebook. But this would be a great art to do with your young girls. I mean, you could get the phone board at the local, hardware store, right? You could make this into a birthday party. You could I would pick out a very simple pattern. I wouldn't take something like the rose because it's going to take a little bit of time. You do a simple heart, do a heart and then, just have four little things or so forth, or an ice cream cone. You take a very simple pattern, nothing too detailed. You sit with your daughter and you do it. You do one yourself so that your daughter can help. And maybe if you had a sister or a cousin that can come over and learn with you. And then that way they can come over and help, or another parent that would like to come and help and learn, right? And then everybody brings, like, when they do sleepovers, they bring, your favorite food, party for snack. Well, this way they would bring um, their favorite, bring a yard of, a yard of several, 1/4 inch, or, $10 worth of fabric. Maybe they'd have a family member that had some fabric or something like that. And you could pick out your fabric. They could bring some fabric to work with. They go home with a project and maybe a new art form that they love doing and a knowledge of something. And you got the kids sitting around the table. You would have to do with teenagers, of course. You prepare the boards ahead of time, get everything all cut and ready to go. And they come in, turn on the music, have a party. It'd be great. It would be so much fun, to do if you had especially a teenager that loves doing crafts. It would be a great idea for a birthday party for a teenage girl. And and then they would have something to sit back and remember. I did this at my party, and then the other girls would too. And it would be something fun. If you had like 10 girls sitting around who and would like to learn, a lot of fun. Something to think about. It will be a lot of fun to do.
No, I thought it was with it.
I think it would be a lot of fun to do. Or if you're somebody that starts learning how to do this, put yourself out there and say, listen, I come and I do birthday parties. I bring the fabric. I bring the boards cut. They can pick from a design. I bring the fabric. I sit it down and they go home. I mean, really, honestly, they could go home with the fabric prepared. So if they didn't finish it at the birthday party, even though I think it'd be awful fun to try to finish it at the birthday party, because then you could take a picture of all the girls coming together with their projects done. But You know, you could turn this into a little thing where you do birthday parties. It'll be a lot of fun. You could teach them how to do it. You could bring the project, everything's done. They bring the fabric. The girls bring, some of their favorite fabric, a couple of pieces of their favorite fabric. If you tell them to bring 1/4 thing, they could pick out 4 cuts of it. It would be a great little birthday party idea, I think. You know, you just have to pick very simple patterns, but you can do it. I'm going to be outlining it. I just like to have it smoother. You could do some. Oops. And then we got to finish the Elvis diamond painting thing. My other diamond painting that I've started. Be like my mother. I'll be 23 years down the road before I finish a blanket. Hint, hint, hint. She's got 1 row to do, too, in that blanket. I did share this live, so if you're here and you can share it with this live, that'd be great. I did share it, but then I had technical difficulties. So the original link to it, I couldn't get it to work. It's not happened, so I had to do a whole new live. Technology was not our friend today. That's for sure. I tried and it just kept telling me error, error. I'm like, okay. And it says, do you want to abandon this? And then when I abandoned it, canceled the whole thing out. So I'm like, I guess you wanted me to start a whole new life, huh? Oops. You're flying a little further than I thought. Yeah, those others, just stuff them in. Need the 2 end parts. talked to Christina too about possibly doing some tie-dye and taking some of the white fabric, just from the fabric store, cotton, of course, and having her do some tie-dye magic with it. And she said, yeah, she has no problem. I said, well, we may down the road do that where we're doing some of your bundles, doing tie-dye bundles with your creations on them. So that may be something, that we do. She just always did very abstract tie-dye. It was just kind of like dump the colors, just look good. And yeah, they came out really good. I used to do the folding and she used to do the pouring. And she would just kind of go haphazardly with it, but it always came out really cool. I think we're sitting almost at 2,400 watch hours. No, 25, I think. 25 something. Past 24, I think. So slowly getting back up there to where we're going to party. Know what we're going to do that day when it happens, but we're going to party. Not that I'm giving up. I found I'll have to go outside too before it gets too cold, but it's kind of nice because at least you guys can see a little bit of the outside happening. That's from here. It'd be nice when it snows. Oh, our neighbors even said, she goes, I can't, because we, of course, live in a rental community. She goes, I can't even think about moving now because of Mocha. She's like, I can't even think about leaving if I chose to go someplace else. I would miss Mocha too much. I was like, jeez. Dog has a fan club. She cries when our maintenance guy comes because she loves her maintenance guy. And I've said to people, if you're in Mocha's clan, you better know how special you are because that doesn't happen very often. You're in her little. You've been welcomed in. You have to realize how special you are because of what she's been through in her life. And I'm going to take a little bit. I want to get detail oriented. I use the white one that seems to have the smallest one, and I just use it. That's the one. If I need a bigger one, then I use the bigger ones. But the white one, I tend to pull that one a lot because that's kind of that's my fine one. If I need a little bit more, I use the thicker ones, but I tend to pull the white color. So if you get these on our fabric list, that's the color that I would say I use a lot more than the rest. But I've used the others too as well. I kind of need it. So anyway, all right. That looks so good. Woo woo. The lights almost went out. Technology is just not with us tonight. We almost just lost our lights. And I paid the light bill. That looks so cool. I love this on the back. It looks nice. I didn't want a color that was gonna be too far away from the blue. You needed one that was gonna complement it. Compliment compliment complement it. I cannot talk tonight, guys. We lose lights, we lose them at the craziest time, that's for sure. So I think that it will be better to put, you know what? I'm not going to go with that darker green because of the hat. We've got this green that I want to use in either the bush or I think we're going to use this for these little things that go here. But I think we have to be very careful of this and the hat. I don't know what I'm going to use for this. I know we're going to use a lighter blue for around there. I have to be careful. That dark green, I think that this dark green and that is going to be too, that hat is just going to be too much together. So let's see. Let me look. That's about the same green as that, so it's not going to work. Kind of have this, well, no, I don't. Kind of have that green. I just don't know about that hat. Oh. Mm-mm. Yep. Not sure I like that. Let's make it look like dead branches. No, I don't like that either. Not crazy about that. So for me, the red green. Well, maybe it won't be that. I guess it wouldn't be, it's not going to be that bad. But I'm thinking I should change it and I'm going to use this for the sky. So I'm thinking I should maybe do this as the little things that go there, and then this as this right here. Because then it won't be pattern to pattern. It'll be a space where we'll be a little bit more of a space between these two things. Because this is going to be this color. And if we put this next to this, then it's going to be too close of a pattern to that. That's what I think. But Could be wrong, but sometimes you've got to keep your blade out for this reason. And I can tell now, if I don't think I've cut the thing thick deep enough, I need to go back and cut it. You can kind of get an idea how much I need now, especially for like these little tiny ones. It's little ends that we can't use. I'm having to make sure it's into the correct space and not in the wrong space. Is there a hole in it, or is that me? Just a little. I'm trying to figure out whether that has a mark in it or whether I think it's a hole in the fabric. Nope, it's not. It's just a mark. I wanted to make sure that we weren't starting off with a hole. Then we could have covered it up with the glue. It was been not a great place for that. So anyway, again, I'm going to, like I said, I'm not going to stay on too long tonight. Of course, I always say that, and the next thing I know, it's like, wait a minute. But I've got to go get a couple things done, including Christina's pattern she wants done, cut out. And get to bed because I'm just really tired tonight. Mondays I usually am. I may have to. Let's just do. It's not cooperating with me. I'm just gonna get home and scrap. Cut that too short, and I kept cutting it too short and cutting it too short, and I was like, "Yeah, that's better anyway." Wants to go into this other side over here. So anyway. I was I was talking to my mother-in-law when we met her for lunch, and I just said to her, I'm so thankful that my husband's family has just taken my daughter on and accepted her for, being part of the family, that she's not Josh's blood daughter, but they haven't treated her anything different than that. And she just said to me, she goes, well, that's how we roll. And I thought, we just don't do that enough in today's world, I don't think, where we're just going, you know what? Sometimes we have family that just doesn't work. And, with what happened with that one family member who we still love and we still pray for, you know, other people have stepped into Christina's life and become aunts for her. And my husband's family has accepted her 100% as part of the family without any kind of no holds bar. And we just don't do that enough, I don't think, in today's world. I think that we need to sometimes do a support system that, um, you know, may not be blood, but they may be more of a sister than what your sister is. Or if you don't have any sisters like me, you need to start getting yourself surrounded by a couple people that will act like that, and be there for you. And I just think that sometimes we just don't do that enough in today's world. Hopefully, you guys can just hear me because I just got a text from, speaking of ants, from my real aunt, which I love. My dad's uh, father's his half, he never had full brothers and sisters. They were always half, but it's on his father's side. The other aunts on my my grandmother's side. Of course, Patty was on my grandmother's side. But I'm so thankful that we have a good relationship. And she really is thankful that I was a huge part of bringing my dad into back in the family. One of these days too, I've got to do an anchor. I thought of that today. I thought I got to do an anchor for my dad. I had to take that tape off. I may have to make a cut. I can't get this in like I want it to. We'll make it work, guys. Just take your time. Sometimes you just have to finagle the pieces and they eventually fall into place. It's just kind of got this down, but right. I think we're going to make another cut and a modification to the pattern right down here. It just needs it be easier to kind of get that possibly in there because right now it's just not getting. There we go. See? Yeah, we're cooking with peanut oil, as the dynasty would have said. This piece got a little. And sometimes, if you need to, you could probably make a cut there if you were just having difficulty and not really necessarily, even if you had to get that down, because I just needed to do that. But then if I really didn't want to cut the around the position, I can make it so it wasn't. So I can do it and just have the cut there as a help. But okay, we're gonna absolutely take this, and like I said, sometimes just having the glue on hand can weigh things down so they'll kind of go in. Because it's just not, it's deciding not to cooperate. So that's what modification we'll have to make. That's why you have your pen and your pattern and your testing pattern. So we need another cut going right here. Same thing going over here. I'm going to, oops. Let me go ahead and turn this board this way, and I'm going to make a cut right here so I don't forget. All right. Let's suss this out for a minute. You must be making eggs. Hard boiled eggs. Oops, wrong trash can. I put it in with the glue tray. I'm gonna have to do some finagling in a minute over on this little thing because there's some fraying starting to happen, but we'll fix it. Let me get this done before I try to finagle that. You don't have to tuck your ends. You could wait till you're done. I just find out it holds them in place and it makes it a lot easier. You know, there used to be a relative that said, clean as, or my grandmother said, clean as you go. There won't be so much mess to clean up in the kitchen afterwards. So, kind of the same theory as if you, as you're doing this, you kind of take your ends and do that. Then you're kind of cleaning up as you go. And you're getting your ends done. I think that'll be pretty. I wasn't too sure of it, more because of the hat. But I think it'll be okay. I think we'll try to finish up these petals real quick, and then I think I'm going to call it quits for tonight. Because, like I said, I've got to get a couple things done in the living room. I got to cut Christina's piece. And I think I'm going to just go to bed. I am just really sleepy. I'd say the same thing about outlining the clouds. If you're going to outline the clouds, you really don't want the clouds to, you want the clouds to look like one big fluffy cloud. You don't want it to look broken up. So we'll probably use the white on the clouds because we want the clouds to look like one piece. So if you're going to outline, you can use cording, you can use DMC thread. You could use whatever, but you can use embroidery thread, you can use crochet thread. I would just look at it as one piece. You want certain things to look like one piece. You don't want them to look like broken up. And so just keep that in mind. I'm having to kind of do this little section. I kind of got a little down in there. Uncle, what are you finding, darling? It just needs to be. Try not to raise it up too much. Or kind of got stuck down in there. Going to call the dentist tomorrow. Probably won't get in for about 3 months from what I can understand, but I couldn't deal with it today. I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm going to call tomorrow, but I just couldn't deal with it today, so just too much stuff, and I thought I can't deal with it. I'll deal with it tomorrow. I can't deal with it today. And hopefully, to goodness gracious, they'll let Josh back there with me, because that'll be doing this on the wrong end, but it probably won't be bad. I've never had gas, like electric or the gas that they give you at the thing. I've never had that. They used to have to, one point, they used to have to give me Valium because I was so nervous. But it would help. You have to be careful with medicine I'm on now, that they can't really give me that too much. But it helped because I'd take that and Josh would drive me, because I would just, of course, you're not supposed to drive when you take that anyway. And it helped, but hopefully they'll let him back there, and then I'll be okay. Because as long as I got him, I'll manage. But just unfortunately have huge anxiety at the dentist. Like even calling is just, and I know I need some work done on my mouth, which I'm not looking forward to. I kind of blame the doctor in Cincinnati, because all they wanted to do was gum work. And I had an issue back in Cincinnati before we left in 2022, or not 20, yeah, 22 was it? Yeah, 22. And they got my top wisdom teeth out. And then I had an issue with a cavity. It wasn't all that bad. And I needed a crown, but he wouldn't put a crown in, because then he said, well, when you need to get your other wisdom teeth out, they're not terrible, but you need to get them out. So why don't you get them out? And then, but he wouldn't do them. He wanted me to go. So the back ones, they had to take the top ones out, wisdom teeth, in kind of an emergency, such, and that had to happen because they were crumbling on me. And so he's just like, well, I can't do the back ones because those are harder to get, and I can't have you. You need to be, go night for a little bit to get them out. But we were moving and I couldn't do it at the time. And I said to him, well, can you just please do this tooth right here? It's like right in here. I said, no, because if we do that, then they'll only cover it for 5 years. And then if you get your wisdom teeth pulled, then it won't, the tooth will move and everything. And he wouldn't do it. He wanted to focus on gum cleaning and all this other kind of stuff. And I just said, please. He just wouldn't do it. And we were moving, and I thought, I can't deal with. I got the top ones done. Couldn't deal with the bottom ones done at the time. I'm trying to move. And sure enough, it's been almost 5 years. If he had fixed this one, like I asked him to, by the time I got to the dentist, if they did have to take the wisdom teeth on the bottom out eventually, which they have to, it would have been, and we've changed insurances now, so it wouldn't have really mattered. But he only wanted to focus on was, gums, and you need this done for your gums, and there wasn't a lot of people that I could go to take care of it, and he just wouldn't do it. So for a couple of years, I've been chewing just on this side. Now, kind of like, okay, I need to go get work done, but wasn't too happy with him. I was happy he took me and was willing to remove the wisdom tooth in an emergency situation because it was causing problems. But I really wish he had done that one tooth because we've since changed insurances. And it's been longer than 5 years, so it would have worked itself out. But he didn't. And that's what he wanted to focus on with Christina was gums. She's gone to another dentist up here, and they haven't talked one. They've talked one thing about her gums. He was so you need a gum cleaning and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, he would not do anything. He wouldn't even clean my teeth. Like I went for a tooth cleaning, he wouldn't even do a tooth cleaning for me. It was ridiculous. So, and then the place that we have to go for our stuff in our area that our insurance will cover. My mom called one time. They said, "Yeah, if you have an emergency, you have to stand out in line when they open, and they take the first 14 people if it's an emergency." I was like, "Okay, gravy." So I'll just call them tomorrow and see what I can get. But Josh will have to come back there with me because it's the only way I'm going to be able to deal with it. Like I said, I think if I was offered it, I would just take it, go into the hospital, put me out, which I would have nervous about that in itself, but I would be okay. Haul them all out of my mouth and put permanents in, and then we're done with it. I don't have to worry about them. I thought, in heaven, we don't have to worry about teeth. It'd be just go ahead and just fill my head with, implants, and we're done. That's probably where I'd be. And then I don't have to deal with the dentist very often. I'm just like, Lord, could you have made that part of your body? Hi, Zach. Hi, Juan. Could you have made that part of your body where it could have fixed itself without issue? Your liver takes care of itself. There's parts of your body that, regenerate itself. Could you have done that with the teeth too? So anyway, it is what it is. But I'm eating very soft foods right now and just kind of babying everything along. And I know that we got to do work in there, but I just don't deal with the dust very well. Like I said, I wasn't happy with that dentist in Cincinnati. I thought, he just kept going on. He said, well, they won't do it. They won't, if they do that and then thing happens to it, you got to get your wisdom teeth out on the bottom and they won't fix it. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, and if he had fixed it, we've changed insurances since then. It wouldn't have been an issue. And it's been longer than 5 years and that would have been fixed. But no, he didn't want to listen to me. So anyway, of course, the patient never knows what they're talking about, right? So anyway, but you guys keep doing what you're doing with the watch hours. Any help with that would be so appreciative. I want to get back to monetization here. I want to get back to it. And I'm going to get done with this and this other leaf. I'm liking it. And then I'm going to call it quits because what time is it? Anybody know the time? None of the devices right now. I can see the time. So Christina's coming over tomorrow. So Mocha's snoring. She's snoring, guys. Can you all see her? A little bit more of a turn. There she is. She's snoring. She now comes in here and sits. It's like she wants to come in and sit with me while I do this now. She loves this bed. This used to be Christina's bed. And when we moved here, we put it here. It used to be down in her room where we lived in Cincinnati. And then of course, Christina needed a bed when we came up here. She wasn't quite married yet. And I don't think we can see you, Josh. And so she loves to come on this bed, and then when Christina spends the night, she sleeps on that bed. Hmm. But now that we've done the space like this, she'll come in and she'll lay on the bed. Somebody's in here with her. She's come in here before by herself and just laid on the bed. So anyway, just trying to get this kind of to lay like I want it to. This flash drying glue, guys, works. I just don't think I don't think any glue will dry fast enough for me in my way of looking at it, but just want to make sure I've got enough of it on there. I cut it a little bit small. Trying to kind of get it to curve like I want it to, and it's just not doing it. Partly because I need to let the glue dry. And it's not going to do what I want until it does that. There we go. I think. There we go. Of course, I want it perfect, and it's not going to be perfect. Remember, guys, nobody's perfect. Not even machines. I'm going to probably head off here in a few minutes. So like I said, I got the living room. There's no place to sit right now in the living room. And guess what, guys? I'm just going to put it in the garage. I'm going to pack all that stuff up in some totes. And it's going into the garage right now. I cannot deal with it. So it's go right in the garage. Deal with it another day. But I'm glad we did it so that we got it. But I'm just I get a bit. Shouldn't be this hard. But I am. Hey, Curleen, welcome on in. You guys put the hashtag bliss in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. We are doing something called Kinusaiga. It's our new artwork that we love doing. What's good? Drinking my juice. Kinusaiga is where you take not foam board. And by the way, what you're looking at right now is our dog Mocha. People love looking at Mocha, so I thought I'd let you all look at her for a little bit. Kinusaiga is where you take fabric and you put it into foam board, like you would for the home improvement, kind of the Pink Panther foam board. You're not putting into styrofoam. Styrofoam's too airy of a material to use for this. And you're doing patterns and doing it. This was our first one we did. This is free on our merch store. It will always be free. And then we also did a cross that I gave to my husband's grandmother for her birthday. And but this one will always be free on our merch store. The other one is $2. So and we've got other patterns happening. We've got this one done. I've just got to finish the pattern for this. I've got to get this pattern done for this. And we also have this one that we're currently working on Facebook. Our fish. So that may be a Facebook, but the pattern will still be available underneath the merch. And then we've got our goose we're working on. We've got other patterns coming, guys. I actually did another one today that I kind of going to be working on. It's going to be a special one. We're working on the teacups. I'm hoping to get this done. By the time it's done to do the teacups, I'm going to say hi to everybody. I'm going to say hi. Do the teacups because my mother's birthday is on the 23rd, and that's going to be her birthday present as teacups. So we have tea every day. So we do teacups for Mama. Oh, well, that's what we do here. We do a lot of connect and grow. People come in, you can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. We do a lot of connect and grow and here to support each other. Um, I deal with chronic pain, so stuff like this and crochet really helped me deal with that chronic pain. And connection really makes a difference. And I have just found so much joy in doing this artwork. Um, it's Kinusaiga, Kinusaiga. And it started in the 1980s as by a woman who was trying to preserve the Japanese kimonos. And so she wanted to preserve them, and they would tuck the fabric and the kimonos into wood to make beautiful artwork. And uh, they have since changed it to using this, this polystyrene board, which is your insulated board, and of course, just using fabric scraps. So if you're somebody like me that doesn't like to sew, this is right up my alley, and I have just fallen in love with it. I actually ran into someone at my local Walmart today, and he was asking about something he had never used. It was fusion tape or something for sewing. I said, "Do you ever use this?" He said, "My wife needs this." I said, "I can't answer that question." And he was an artist. He does paintings in the local area. And I said, "Oh," and I showed him what I was doing. And he said, "Oh," he said, "those are beautiful." And I said, "Well, that's like the third or fourth one I've done." And he said to me, he goes, "Well, are you going to be selling them?" I said, "Probably at one point." I mean, any ones that we do here, this one is already spoken for, hopefully. It's actually going to be going to someone pretty special. But there will be ones available that we'll have done on the YouTube channel that if people do want to purchase that one, they can. But we're just trying to test the patterns so we can put them out there for you guys. Another thing too is if you do by chance decide that you like the pattern, you want to do it on your YouTube channel, that's fine with us. We just ask that you please contact us. Let us know that you will be doing that. And link the pattern where people can get it from. And of course, make sure that you do not use or claim the pattern as your own. These patterns take time to put together and then time to sit and test them. So we just ask that you please don't claim it as your own. And of course, you tell people about our YouTube channel. But you certainly let people know that that came from us. And there's some areas where, for whatever reason, I've cut the material too short. You don't have to use glue on all your pieces or all your corners. Sometimes, just for various reasons, you have to just put a little bit of glue. But it doesn't need to be every piece. It's just sometimes it needs it. But I will tell you, give a trigger or a warning. If you take this project up, you may not, it's very addicting. You may not be able to put your seam ripper down. That's what you use as your main tool for doing this. And of course, we do have a fabric list. Excuse me. We recommend products. Some of them may have affiliate links because Mama is an Amazon affiliate. It is very See, it's almost 10 o'clock, and it's like 2.5 hours have just like flown by. Literally, it's like, oh yeah, it's 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Boy, oh boy. And before you know it, you got 5 hours, 2.5 hours just melting away. That looks really good. I'm liking that a lot. I think that'll look really good with the green. I like it next to the blue. It looks nice. It looks good. Let's do see, she hears dinner. She went for a run. Our neighbor takes her for a run. Um and so unfortunately, of course when she goes for a run, I'm gonna do these two little sections because we had to do the glue there. And I don't want the glue to harden before I can kind of get those little bitty sections in, and then I'm gonna probably say goodnight. But just like you just keep going, like, oh, just one more piece. I want to see what this is gonna look like, and then that, and before you know it, it's like 2.5 hours down the road. Okay, so that's a cut. I have a little bin for my pieces that are kind of scraps, but not scraps. I still have to cut my daughter's piece. And one, I'm going to do that. I got the short put together. I just have to put it together because I certainly want to do that. Favorite, yeah. I've just been a little bit busy. It's good to have a trash can by you because it makes for a nice little thing to have it. Because then when you're done, you can just go take it to the trash can and throw your scraps that you cannot use away instead of having to clean up everything. I did it before where I had it all the way around, and then it was like it's much easier to have a little trash can. It's like you can. But I don't want this section, so we had to do the glue there a little bit. So I think I'm going to do this. I don't need to do this end. It's just these two little pieces that I think would be a good idea before I head off. Whoops, head off for the night. I'm gonna. I should cut that just a little bit shy. So to just reposition it because it's just enough, but it's just a little shy. And if I have to glue this, then I'll do the other side. We're fine. Just got to it. It's just and to be on the small little pieces, you kind of have to take your time. The small little cuts and so forth, because sometimes they can, the foam is pretty good. It holds, but you still have to kind of the smaller areas. You kind of have to treat it with a little bit of TLC. And if you think you're gonna fray the ends for any reason, just add a little glue. It really prevents any issues from having to that end. It will dry clear. It will be fine. I've even had to make little patchworks happen, but you can't notice. I need to get some tweezers too. That's what I forgot to pick up today. Sometimes you need a little bit of tweezer. So yeah, now I'm gonna have to put glue on that end, which is fine. And I know and if you go towards the corners when you're getting into a tight spot, that does help. And if you have a little bit of an issue where you've got a little residue from the glue, a little bit of water will work wonders to get that taken care of. Around the part you really would like to not have. And if something happens and you have to pick it up again and put it back in and get some more material, you can do that. I would be careful when you do it because sometimes it can start a chain reaction, but sometimes it's better just to stick the glue in than it is to pull things back up again. Sometimes you have to get in there and kind of do a little bit of a facelift. That's what I call it, because then it gets in there. That's why I wanted to hit that, because I had to put a little glue around it. And I wanted to make sure that I could get in there and kind of finagle it, per se. I'm going to add a little water to that because it has a little bit of a glue residue. Well, it dries clear. It just does sometimes, but we can fix that. We can fix it. Once you put your fabric in here, for the most part, it holds very well. It really does. You're going to take this. And I have a little bit of water in a little cap that I have left over from my previous water bottle. And so I just take that and I use these wonderful kind of precision glue sticks. And I'll just put that, and that'll take care of the glue if there's any little bit of white residue, because it's dark. I only notice that really on the darker fabric. I don't notice it on any other issue when it's the darker fabric. But I'll take a little water and it just takes care of it just takes care of it. Now, I will need a little bit of, this is the glue I use, the quick dry. They do have tacky glue that's totally clear if you didn't want to have the white, but I find the white's helpful to have because you can see where you're putting it. It is helpful to have the white so you can kind of determine where you're putting it. And we're just going to put a little bit right in there, and we're going to put a little bit right there. You don't need much. You just need a little bit, and it does work. And sometimes you have to be patient. And sometimes it's not my strongest suit. But sometimes I just need to have a patient. And if you can get it off where you're going to see it, because you're not going to see it in the crevices. You'll be fine. Sometimes you can take them too and just kind of, sometimes I've found out recently is you take them and kind of just mush them together. And that just does the thing. It looks really good. These tools are great to kind of get in. And see, this is already where we had to put the glue in earlier. This is already nice and hard. It's already set, so it's not going to come up. And sometimes you have to go in there and just make sure. And we'll probably be outlining all of this. If you give it just a few minutes, it will fix itself. And if you notice a little thing, just a little water on it, it just fixes it. But it stops the fray happening. I said, sometimes you just gotta kind of press that down, and that just kind of works too. I'm learning all these tricks. All these tricks and maneuvers. Okay, let's get this one just because of the glue situation. I want to make sure that we're going to have no problem getting this piece in here. I don't have to worry about that because I didn't glue that. And I didn't glue this side. So I think we'll be okay there till another day because I do have to get off here in a minute. Even though it's really hard because it's just like I said, one more piece, one more piece, one more piece, one more piece. And then 4 or 5 hours later, you're going, where did the time go? I will finish my juice in a minute so we can get that juice done. And then when you get done, you can also, when you're done with your piece and you gotta kind of get the little fuzzies away, just have a lint roller on hand. And that will take care of it. Reminds me of a lint roller in the garage I can give somebody. Or temporarily until I can get her one. Okay, I'm glad we kind of did that little area because I was really kind of worried with the glue. Well, I wasn't worried, but I knew it was going to be a little harder to get that in there if we'd waited till tomorrow. We're going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot better if we had, or not tomorrow, we'll be live tomorrow, but who knows? I can't say anything. I may be live tomorrow. I may after we get done. I don't know. But I may want to work on the flag and get that pattern up so it's available for people. But see, you can already see there was a little white here, like right in here, and that's kind of gone away. So that the just if you get a little bit, you see it. And like I said, I only notice it on the dark colors. It's like there's a piece of that I didn't intend for it to get. That's where I notice it. Just the dark colors is where I kind of like, okay, you weren't supposed to be on there. I'm just going to put a little bit on here. And I wouldn't recommend these tools to do it. I'd stick with a seam ripper. But sometimes I've noticed these are very helpful in getting the glue in the part that it needs to be. And sometimes it does help when you're trying to round out your certain, parts like this. You can really get in there to kind of round them up. And so, but you just got to be careful because you can kind of go a little deep with these. These can go in a little deeper than you want. And then it causes issues. So I'd be very careful. Okay. I think we'll be okay with that. If I kind of curve that up, we'll be all right with the rest. Okay, so that's how much we've done with our goose tonight. I'm telling you, if I didn't have to get moving, I would be here probably for another 2 hours. And I'm not joking either when I say that. This is never come across a craft in my entire life, and I'm like, I could just sit for hours and do. I mean, I can do it with crochet, but there's just something very different, something very relaxing with this. I think I certainly found a knack to do it from what everybody's been telling me, um, and I think this, and actually, I've got several things in the works. I've got another pattern I was coming up with today. Um, actually, also had, I was able to do our church in a pattern for it. So that's probably that building. I just need to go. We have a beautiful craft store, fabric store right by our house or near our house. And as we get more and more into this, we are going to offer kits and so forth. And we're going to source our fabric from this location. It's an Amish fabric store. It's amazing. I did a little short on this fabric store. It is amazing, the fabric store. But I want to go back there. And for our church has brick on the outside. And I'm telling you when I'm saying this, I'm not saying it lightly. If you can't find it at this store, you cannot find it anyplace. And so I want to get fabric that looks like brick, and I'm sure they'll have it. I mean, I could do it just red, but it'll be better if I could find brick. I'm trying to get this little piece here, even though we'll be doing it. I just want to kind of get it kind of to round where I want it to. There we go. And sometimes it helps us to take this and kind of, do the same thing, put it down there. So anyway, that's better. And it's just not, you're not cooperating like I want you to. There we go. So, but anyway, getting back to what I was saying, we have to, I want to go back there and see if they have, I'm gonna go back there and see if they have wood or not wood, brick looking fabric, which I think they would. Like I said, if that place don't have it, they don't have it any place. I want to go back there and see if they have it. I'm sure they do. And then that way, because it's just, I mean, I know I could do it in red and it would be okay, but it would be so much better if I could get brick. And I wouldn't want big, I want it small, little like red brick like our church has. I have a pattern. And it's about an 8 by, it's probably going to wind up being an 8 by 10 at least. 8 by, or at least a 10 by 7 picture. So it's going to be a pretty big one. I'll finish my juice with you so I can get it done. This is kale, spinach, pear, carrot, pineapple, and then there was a tomato, broccoli, celery, and carrot and mix that I made. And if you think to yourself, oh my goodness, I couldn't drink kale, you don't taste it. I actually want, every time I have my juice, I got to put kale in it. And I'm not a kale drinker. I don't like kale. I will not eat it, but I will drink it. And I love it. And actually, I want it in there. It's like, I probably will take kale over spinach. But I really enjoy the kale, especially mixing the kale and the apple together. And if you're going to juice apple, if you're going to juice pear, put it with something hard like carrots and kale. Like if I did pear again, I would chop it up really fine and I would do it with kale with kale and apple or kale and carrot, something hard, because it did not do well on its own. It even didn't do well with the apple. So I do pear, but I would do it with kale, apple, and pear, or kale, apple, and carrot. Or no, apple and pear and like kale or apple, or kale and carrot. But I like the pear a lot. When I was little, my grandma used to have those cans of pear nectar. So good. But I was hoping to have straight pear just because I remember the pear nectar. And by the way, when you juice it yourself, it tastes so much better, but it does not do well in the juicer. And probably if we had a better juicer, it would. But we have got it off a Wayfair. It does a pretty good job. But it does what it does. Okay, so we're using this for the sky, which I think will be really pretty. So I have to save that. Nobody else can have that because I don't have much of that left. And then we'll do, let's look, because I want it taken away. Well, not this thing taken away, but Christina's coming from tomorrow. See if I reserve fabric. They told her she couldn't have that. So let's look at the sun. So if we're doing this for that, then the rays of the sun that are going to go around, I think we can do this, which would be pretty. I have to remember that this is going to be green. So whatever goes with that is got to go well with that, which would work. I'm thinking that this, which I'm kind of liking this better than that. I think we may end up doing that. That's going to be too dark. I think I'm liking very good putting colors together. I think that I'm not going to like that. It's a green wall. So, oops. I'm kind of cut Christina's piece. She wants me to do. So I can't put all my tools together or why. So I think that this will look very pretty with this and with, where is it? Where are you? Oh, here it is. With this. I think that'll be the route to go. So when we do these coming down the sun, we're going to use this. I think this will be, it'll go nice with the yellow because I used a darker yellow for that. It'll go nice with the yellow, but it'll go with the green. Yeah, I like that together because it's going to be matching up like really close to the green here. Another thing that I could do if I wanted to is I could flip this. I could put the green here and then do that on the bushes just because of the location it's at. So we can see, but I could flip that if need be, but I like this yellow better because you've got to have the yellow rays coming down. So anyway, we may end up flipping that just because it may look better to be flipped. When we get to that little section there, just kind of taking the glue. It's a great trick. Is if you notice a little bit of glue, I just noticed in like the really dark colors. Other than that, so we're just clean this up right here. I mean, I've used my little side of my dull side of my seam ripper to kind of solve that issue too. But while I've got the water here, it's just, but it does work. You just take your water and your little tools, and I would wait till your glue dries. Right, that's where the fatter ones come from. I've lost one somewhere. Say 5. There's one missing. I'll find it in a minute. They've got under the board for all I know. It will not hurt. As long as your glue is dry, and I put way too much water on it. It, it will be fine. We need to put more glue on it tomorrow, but I don't think it will. It was dry enough when I put it there. It was just a little, but it's not going to fray now it's done. If we need to, we can fix it tomorrow. Always fix it. And you always tear it out. I mean, if you had to, you could tear out that piece and re-put it in again if it was really a problem, but I don't think it will be. So I'm going to get going before I analyze every little piece of this, which I tend to do. I tend to sit here and analyze it before I know it. I'm like, wait a minute, Mary, you just need to leave it and let it do its thing. So anyway. But if need be, I can take it out. I mean, it won't be the worst thing. I'd let it sit before you decide to do that because you could really, what I found out is like it's better off to put the glue because what happens is you have a downhill effect. If I took this piece out, and this piece would be affected, and this piece would, and it just becomes this down scale thing before you're like, wait a minute, I should have just left it in, let the glue sit and do its thing. Oh. Come unplugged. So I realized that that kind of is what's happens when you do that. So if you're gonna take a piece out, it's not impossible to do. It just I would kind of be careful when you do it because you may just start a domino effect. But anyway, I'm gonna get going, guys. We'll probably be on tomorrow. Well, I don't know if I'm coming on tomorrow because of Christina, and then I may come on Wednesday for sure. And um, we're gonna go down to the Amish country on the 21st because that's Josh and my anniversary. So we're gonna head down there and try to see if they'll take some of our soap caddies. So anyway, so we got that adventure coming up pretty soon. Um, I'll find that other whatever it is. I don't need that, but I need you still because I've got to cut Christina's piece. So anyway, got this whole thing over here. I've got to replace Christina's glue because I picked up the wrong glue for myself because I want to keep an extra bottle. But I just might return it because it's going to take me a while to go through. But I use it almost every time I do this. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I love you all tremendously. Um, just put away my stuff. If I put away my stuff, then I don't sit here and go, ooh, I can do this piece. And then, oh, I could do this piece. And I'm like, no, Mary, shut up. Um, I'm just, even if I didn't have to get the living room ready for tomorrow because of my stuff in it, I'm so tired. It's so cold. But, you know, I wanted to say to everybody too, and that was another thing I forgot. Anyway, I wanted to say to everybody, I really appreciate everybody willing to go down this journey with me. I know that this may not be the funnest thing for everybody. This may not be everybody's jam, and I understand that. I there's one missing. Um, how did it go? I'll find it in a minute. Maybe fell. I had 5 of them somewhere. What? Anyway, I know this may not be everybody's jam, and I understand that, but I really appreciate people willing to just entertain me, I guess I should say. Oh, I put it in the trash bundle. That's where I did them. I know I had 5 of these. Um, I really appreciate everybody willing to just do this thing with me because again I know it's not. I know it's not for everybody. I know everybody. It may be in. I don't know if I'll ever use these. I have these like little bow things. I don't know if I'll ever fit a pattern. They may, but I'll just put them in. So I want to give Christina this for her tool things to hold on to. Um. Anyway, I just really appreciate everybody kind of allowing me to go down this road. Um. The past month has just been a little struggle for me personally. I can't go into every detail. I've just been dealing with some stuff. And this has been a tremendous blessing unexpectedly. It has been uh, therapy, it has been just a bunch of things for me. And I see this in a way that this is just the beginning. In teaching people how to do this and maybe putting kits together and fabric bundles together. Um, I just I mean, I went to Hobby Lobby to pick up the glue for Christina, and I thought, I looked at their fabric department, there was 30% off. And I was like, I just, and I looked at it going, after going to that fabric store we went to, this really doesn't, it's not, there's not much here. When you go to that other fabric store and you see it, it's kind of like, oh my goodness, there's so much there to see and do. And not do, but as far as to see and the quality of it, and I'm like, no, I know where I want to go. So, not everybody has an Amish fabric store in their area, but we do. So we can put things together. Christina's even talked about possibly doing her tie dye, and putting, tie dye regular um, uh, white fabric and selling those things in bundles and so forth. So um, I just see many things happening with this. I think I'm good at it. I've been told that. And with that being said, this channel was never designed to teach anybody anything. Hopefully, I am teaching somebody something and I'm encouraging them. But this channel in a whole, from day one, from day start, was to show connection. So that it meant whether we were doing this, we were driving to church, we were outside enjoying the fall leaves and crocheting, we were out on a field trip, we were just sitting, chit and chatting and so forth and talking, we were diamond painting, whatever we were doing, the core of this channel has been always to connect. And it doesn't necessarily mean connect and grow. Like, not everybody's trying to grow a channel, but people need connection. And that's what this channel is about. This is what it is. So it's like, yeah, you can come in here and think, well, she's doing this artwork, probably not something I'm ever going to do, but that's not the reason why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for myself. But in a whole, you guys coming in the chat and chatting back and forth with each other and connecting with each other and connecting with other channels, especially because I know how hard it is to grow a channel, and connecting with each other and talking to each other, not just coming in and dropping your link. That that works to some degree, but it doesn't totally work. The true thing is making those connections. That's where you're going to really find success, is making them. And I just really encourage you to do it properly and do it the correct way, which is going over, watching about a 3-minute video or couple shorts, leaving your calling card, leaving your name there, and letting them know you stop by. That's how you're going to make your connections, and that's what's important. So I really want to emphasize that maybe people after a while go, oh, she's doing another Kinusaiga project. I'm doing it because it's something that I enjoy. I think it lends itself very well to YouTube and to this and to the way we started our channel, because it does give people the ability to help us choose. I mean, there's been parts of this that I said, okay, what do you think of this color? No, I didn't like that, but then I liked this. And so we've been able to help, our community has helped kind of put things together. And, well, what do you think of this color? No, I don't like that. And I didn't like this. So it lends itself to that. But again, at the core, we're not just doing a project. It's for you all to come in and make those connections and put your channel in, go and connect properly with each other, build friendships, build community, build connections. And that's what it's all about. Just because I'm doing this does not mean that you're like, oh, I have to be able to do this. You could never pick up a seam ripper and do this. You may just enjoy watching it. But more importantly, uh, it really helps our channel tremendously, as it does anybody, for people to come in and chit chat and talk and hit that like button and all that kind of stuff. It really helps us, and we very, very much appreciate all the interaction that people give. It means the world to us. So, um, just I want to really encourage you to sit there and go, okay, she's doing another part. She's doing another Kinusaiga project. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that that's what you have to come in here for. You can come in here and admire this and think this is not something I ever want to pick up. That's fine. You don't have to. But you could meet somebody and meet, somebody that could really help you grow your channel or become a really dear friend just from somebody in the chat. That's what's important. The connection really does help, and it helps us get through things, our daily lives, which sometimes can be a real struggle, especially if you're dealing with a chronic illness or raising a special needs child or dealing with a parent that's, you know, uh, having some health issues, whatever it may be. We're all here to help each other. And I hope that we're doing that. And I hope that we're continuing encouraging each other. That's what we're supposed to do. So that's my little spiel tonight. I was thinking I may end up doing a video. Um, or something. I may sit outside and do a video just about what our channel is, why we've kind of taken direction with this Kinna saga, what it really means to us, and how we really encourage people to come in when we're live so they can connect with each other and not only help each other's channels grow, but certainly build friendships. That's what's really, really important. Those connections really, really do make a difference. So I'm going to head out of here, go take care of the living room. I would rather stay and do this, but I will not like myself very much in the morning. And so I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go cut Christina's piece. And then I'm going to go off to bed, guys, because I'm tired. I've been kind of saying all night long. So, with that being said, guys, I'm going to say what I normally say to everybody when we end our lives. Be proud of being you because everyone else is taken. When God made you, He broke the mold. There's nobody else like you, and you are amazing. We have you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered. And keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required, or keep using your seam ripper, but you don't need a seam ripper to make those connections either. No tool required to make connections. It's just typing in the screen into the chat, making those connections, making friendships, and having conversations, and being here to support each other. No tools, no fabric, no yarn, no crochet hook, no seam ripper, no nothing. It just needs you because without you, there's no Blessed to Crochet. You guys are the blessing behind Blessed to Crochet. Love each and every one of you. I will see you later. Before I go, real quick, I got out 2 weeks ago, Blessing Through Connections channel shout out recap. There was a problem downloading it. I finally got it to download. I started working on last week's. It should have been out last week, and it wasn't. And I'm so sorry. The week before recaps. I will try to finish them up tomorrow, if not Wednesday, and get them out. And then I will get last week's out this Friday so that we're all caught up. But I've been pretty good about at least getting the shout outs out. But those have been really easy since I've had them go through Chat GPT because then I can do them when I have my coffee in the morning and pick a channel. So you as well, commenting when we get done with our lives. I'm starting to look at the comments and seeing who's commenting. And if it's a channel we haven't given a shout out to for a while, I'm picking you for your channel shout out. So make those comments. And if you're a channel that's growing and I can see that, you make a channel shout out from us. So I love each and every one of you. I'll see you later and we will continue with part 4 of our little goose. Sorry, but there was a little piece of, I'll have to fix that because it can't be the blue in the goose. I just noticed that. Anyway, love y'all. See, it's really hard to stop. Bye bye, everybody. See you later.